And welcome back to the MC Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Lancy. My co-host right here is Kyle Heath. This is a show where we cover gaming industry-related news of the last week. This week, we're going to talk about how crucial one of like most legendary brands, Micron, for like RAM sticks, they're shutting down. Call of Duty is apparently underperforming. We're going to get into the theories of why. Marathon, aka like Bungie's new project, is still going through some plagiarism scandal. We're going to dive more into the development of that situation. And Saudi Arabia has now purchased 93.4% of Electronic Arts, and we're going to talk about basically what that means for the industry. But before we begin, Kyle, how you been, dude? I love your shirt, by the way. You got the classic high school gym shirt.
Literally.
Pain is weakness leaving the body.
I do.
But how you doing, man?
Doing
How
good.
was your week?
Doing good. Fun fact about the shirt, I actually got this at a Halo event for one of like the Marine recruiters. So they're
Oh
just
yeah,
handing out free
I think
shirts.
you told me about that. Yeah, I think you did.
It was so
That's cool.
funny. Like we didn't even really like talk to them. Like we kind of just like walked by and the guy was like, "Here, like free shirts." He's like, "We gotta get rid of them." So he's like, "Y'all want
Yeah,
one?"
they can't come back. They're gonna either give them away to you guys, or they're gonna throw them away because I think they get yelled at if they bring stuff back.
Yeah. So they're free shirts. So yeah, I've had this ever since. It's a great lounge / sleep shirt for me at this point. But nah, man, week was pretty good. Played. The week was actually really good for gaming because like it was obviously like Thanksgiving in the States, so I had off work Thursday and Friday, and so I was able to get a good amount of gaming in, and that's like one of my favorite times to game of the year. Really, it's kind of around like Thanksgiving. I feel like there's something about it. Like you spend time with family, you get to watch some sports, but then also like you have those extra days, and so it's like I feel like it's a great time to like get into a game or start something new or something like that. So that's exactly what I did. And I did a little research. I think it was like even like early on Friday because it was like early morning Friday. I woke up and I was like, I want to play something. I don't know what to play. So I was doing some research and I was looking at my library. There's one game that stood out to me by Rockstar
What's that?
Entertainment, and
Oh.
I've had it installed on my machine. Well, not even installed. I think I've just had it like purchased now for over a year, and I haven't played it. That's good old Grand Theft Auto 4. Good old Liberty City.
Okay.
So Grand Theft Auto 4 I'd purchased, maybe it was 2 years ago I bought it. It was around the time I was like, a couple years ago I like wanted to get into the GTA games, and so I was like playing like San Andreas and 3 and all that. Didn't really like get super involved. I played like probably 3 the most. I remember I got 4 at the time because Rockstar had some sale and it was like cheapest it ever been. So I was like, I'll get the complete edition, get all the DLC and whatnot. And I just never got around to playing it. And so I was looking for like a single player game to play. I was like, funny enough, I was looking at my library. I was like, I started Red Dead Redemption 2 like earlier this year, but I only got a few hours in, didn't really like get back into it. But I was like, I don't know if I necessarily want to play that now. And like I bought my new monitor. Colors are great. Like contrast is amazing on it. So I'm like, I gotta like play something. Funny enough, playing GTA 4 is probably not. It's an older game.
Not really.
It doesn't really test the limits of the monitor, right? But I was just like, I don't know. I just wanted to use my monitor to like kind of just like play a new game, start something new. So I looked at GTA 4. I looked up beforehand since I hadn't even like played it yet. I was like, okay, is there any like fixed out there I should install? Like, is it gonna work? Like, is there enhancement packs I should get? I found one video that talked about there was one that went pretty in detail about like, oh, you get this pack, but then you can also like download these other tools, like configure it a certain way to make it look more realistic and stuff like that. Seemed like a lot, and it was a lot of hoops you had to jump through to like you had to get a fresh install and like make sure everything was configured properly, and it was a huge effort. There was one that was like there was one installation that was like you just install it, click a couple buttons, show it your library, and like installs a ton of fixes and changes and updates that aren't like super enhancing visually, but I mean there are some visual enhancements, but it's not going to make your game look like a 2025 GTA 4.
Yeah.
But like a lot of improvements on the PC port especially, so I installed that, and I played, I don't even know, like 6-7 hours probably over the course of like a day or two, and I was really enjoying it. I've been enjoying it so far. It's cool to see Liberty City. It's cool to see Nico and kind of that world and some I hadn't seen before. I just like heard that GTA 4 had an amazing story for the time. Yeah, so far it's held up pretty well. It's cool to see Liberty City, kind of the New York sort of like
the vibe of it.
Yeah. So that's
really cool though.
And yeah, I've been really enjoying that. So yeah, that was a new game I started. So we'll see how long it takes me to beat, especially around the holidays. I'm doing so much. But
yeah, it's totally worth beating, and it's actually pretty cool that you actually like you've gone and picked it up. It came out ages ago, but it's super nice. It's super fun. is
Yeah.
basically what I'm saying. And I think it could be a defining game for a lot of people. So I think you're gonna find out why GTA was so popular. It's not just like the role playing stuff that all the streamers are doing now. It's like there's some cool stories in there that
Yeah.
are definitely worth checking out. You'll have fun with it.
Yeah. Like, cool, good old Dan Houser, which I think he's no longer with
Oh yeah.
Rockstar, but it's so funny because he's been doing interviews and stuff recently. I've been meaning to like listen to him. I just haven't yet. But yeah, I don't know. It's cool to see. It's been cool to see the story so far, and I feel like I've just scratched the surface, So there's a it's a pretty long game from what I've heard. So looking forward to
Yeah.
kind of getting through that and checking out what that game has to offer. Because so far, it's like I've loved a lot of the characters I've like met and like ran into, and like each they have their own personalities, but it's also just like I don't know. Rockstar does a really good job of making unique characters like through all of like their games I've played. So probably one of the
Yeah.
reasons their games are so popular. But yeah, so very much looking forward to playing that. Played a lot of that. I played Arc Raiders one day because I think one of my
Still
buddies
have yet to play that.
yeah, one of my buddies
Yeah.
had off, and we were actually able to find a third. So we were running trios for a little while. That was a lot of fun. So it's kind of just going into straight combat, but it's pretty fun to do that. I played some. Yeah, I mean, I think mainly it was just kind of like GTA 4, some Arc Raiders. I'm trying to think if I played much else. Maybe a little. Oh, I did play a little Fortnite. That was pretty fun.
Did you?
Seeing the
Oh yeah,
yeah.
you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like seeing the I played a little bit of like I think I may have mentioned last time like the Simpsons stuff. Uh, I want to get I want to get back on it though because I've heard they just recently did an update and like seen some of the videos on Twitter and stuff. So it's pretty sick. And they pretty much like replaced the battle bus entry with like a giant like tidal wave that you surf. Like that's
Yeah.
how you get into the map. It's insane. So I gotta check all that out at some point. But yeah, I still play a little bit of that. But I
It
don't
sounds
know.
very interesting.
Yeah,
I hadn't looked at I have not looked at Fortnite of like in quite a while. I didn't know they were doing those types of updates.
yeah, they're insane, man. I even played
Yeah.
I was like it was like Fortnite's rhythm game. I forget what it's called. Fortnite Festival, I think, or something like that. Played some of
Yeah.
that. I even tried that, and I was playing on keyboard. It's like I was the whole time I was playing. I was like, I really wish I had like guitar, like one of the the guitar controllers, but I don't have that. So one day. But yeah,
I'll
that
go
was
get
fun.
it then.
I think it was pretty much it, man. It's like all I played. What'd you play, Mike? Did you have time to play anything? I even I'm working like crazy, man.
Yeah, unfortunately I've been working too much, but I always go back to Rocket League. That's one of my favorite games. Play a little bit of Halo. I think got on Call of Duty for a little bit, set up everything that I wanted to set up, like try to get it super optimized. And then I really haven't found a chance for me to like put up with the fact that like I didn't start playing on launch day, so I don't have anything unlocked. So I get just completely murked, even if I feel like my guns are just trash. Um, that's been tough, I think, very annoying. And there's a new like kill streak. It's new to me. I've never seen it in any COD before. But you can play as like a mech. So you
Yeah,
get in a mech and you just run around the
it's
map. You
insane.
just laser people, and I'm like, dude,
It's
that
insane.
happened. Like I saw that one time, and right after it happened, I was like, yeah, I don't want to play anymore. Like just alt F4 immediately because like why, man? Like it's I'm not trying to get off work after like being stressed out of my mind to then have to sweat my butt off, and then if I don't, some dude is gonna get an unkillable machine that runs around on the map, and
Yeah, no.
everybody in the lobby, instead of just shooting and destroying it, will just run away from it. It's annoying.
No.
Yeah, not for me, fam.
Yeah, that's
It's
hilarious.
tough.
That's tough. Yeah, that's I don't know, man. God, you know, I, when I was looking for a game to play, I like wanted to play a shooter, and I was like half tempted to download COD on Battle Pass, the new COD. I was like, or Battle Pass. I was half on Game Pass. I was half tempted to install it on Game Pass because I have the option. It's just like, I almost did, but I didn't. So maybe soon, just to test the monitor.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like you should probably test out the monitor for sure, but man, it's kind of a tough sell to like to just get completely destroyed in COD.
Yeah, trust me. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
you got to grind.
Yeah. What do I know it? Um, yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Maybe soon. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. But for the time being, let's move on to this week's news. We we should just kind of start off right off the bat with the RAM because
Yeah.
I saw somebody's post recently and they were like you can invest in the S&P 500 or you can just buy RAM and then wait for it to like 400x and then so yeah, okay, yeah, probably
That's
gonna
funny.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into what is happening.
Yeah. Now let's get into it. The Verge, Emma Roth wrote an article. Oh, this is fascinating. So guess what? Crucial is shutting down. And this is because Micron wants to sell its RAM and SSDs to AI companies instead. The long-standing provider of consumer memory is winding down as prices spike, and Micron shifts its focus to AI. This is interesting because, like, for me, as someone who's like into PC building and stuff like that for a while, it's like Crucial was kind of like you need affordable, reliable option. Crucial,
Yep.
like that was what you went with. And so, seeing this and hearing this is kind of like it's interesting to me.
What
It's like
happened?
it's kind of unfortunate. It's like a I don't know, salute moment. Rest in peace. Micron is retiring the Crucial brand, marking the end of its line of budget-friendly solid-state drives and RAM kits, as reported earlier by Video Cards in an announcement on Wednesday. Micron says winding down its consumer-focused business will improve supply and support for our larger strategic customers in faster-growing segments, aka AI companies. Brand shutdown is a huge blow for PC builders and hobbyists who are already dealing with skyrocketing RAM prices linked to a surge in demand from AI companies. OpenAI, for example, struck a deal with SK Hynix and Samsung to make a 900,000 DRAM per month for its Stargate project. That's a lot of RAM.
Super a lot, yeah.
Now, there's going to be one less brand selling consumer-focused memory for PCs, potentially intensifying the global memory shortage. Soaring demand for RAM is already impacting pricing at CyberPower PC, Framework, and Raspberry Pi, while HP has even hinted at raising the prices for its devices and equipping them with less memory. Micron will keep shipping Crucial products until the end of February 2026 and provide continued warranty service and support. Pretty short article, but I think it's one of those things like kind of what I was saying before of like, it's Crucial and it's just this brand that I think many people who've built PCs, you often look at like, okay, what are budget friendly options for me, especially if I'm doing smaller
Yeah.
builds? And you go to Crucial because it's reliable, it's not flashy, but it gets the job done. So seeing this, it's kind of like I think it's a very, I don't know, it paints a picture of what the RAM market is right now, how it's shifting, and what AI's impact is having on the hardware front, not just software. So, what do you think, Mike? I think it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's gonna be one of those repercussions of an industry that's AI is very speculative right now, in my opinion. Although it's gonna be a part of our future for sure, but it's like everybody wants to be first, but if everybody's trying to be first, then there is no first, and it's just all speculative of what it could be. Like nobody knows the true value of it, and I think that kind of ties into what's going on with RAM because you need RAM, you need hardware, you need power, and you need like utilities to make sure all of this can function. So it's like a whole ecosystem within the industry to keep this idea of AI afloat. And I think the fact that they're just like, nah, I'm over it. It's kind of it's kind of like telling of what could be coming on the horizon. Micron's no joke. So the fact that they're like, yeah, we don't want this, we're out. I wonder what's going to happen with other brands if this might incentivize other people to start pivoting, other people being other companies as well. What do you
Yeah,
think it is?
yeah. I mean, I totally agree. I think this whole situation kind of reminds me of in recent memory, like another PC like brand or like PC part brand that decided to step out. I think it was EVGA. I think it was the other one that like
Yes,
in
and
the
that was
video card realm.
honestly that was right after. Yeah, that was right after the first spike of the GPU prices that Nvidia was like kind of price gouging. Wasn't it
Yeah,
the 40 series where they're like, yeah, no more? Was that? Yeah,
I
it wasn't
want
the
to.
30s, was it?
No, yeah, I think it was 40s. I want to say is when they decided,
I
which
remember
is
the price
crazy.
got so high, and they were basically just like, "Yeah, we want no part of this anymore." They were so tired of putting up with like Nvidia's crap of like getting the lesser end cards just to make like software around it. And they're like, "Yeah, it's just not profitable anymore for us. The margins are too thin. It's not going to
Yeah,
work. We're out."
which is unfortunate. I mean, I don't know. I think to that like a more recent example. I think of seeing the market and the landscape. And I think at the time people had similar things like, okay, what does that mean for the overall market? We have like big brands stepping down and just completely out of the picture. So I don't know. It's
Yeah,
it's I don't know. Just seeing this, it's I don't know. It's super unfortunate, but it also makes you wonder what's going to happen with the broader industry around PC hardware, and if
I
we have
think
other
it's gonna
people
be.
that step up.
Yeah, I think it might be weird because they're basically going from like business to consumer sales to business sales, and it reminds me of a couple of times when I was working for a technology company. We were tearing down servers and like rebuilding them and refurbishing them and then selling them to other businesses so that they could do like demo products. Or a big thing was in high school in the United States, everybody was doing testing constantly on like PCs. So we would take old PCs and refurbish them and build them good enough to run the tests. So they would like ship in the tests. The schools would rent them. They'd come into like gymnasiums, hook them all up. Everybody do the test there, and then they take them all out. Everybody's like, "Where did the computers come from?" The schools didn't actually own them; they rented them. I wonder if that might happen with like the Crucial brand, like Micron's trying to do for the AI companies. I wonder what's going to happen if like the bubble pops because it's like there's the AI companies themselves, then there's the power grid companies that are now bought in, then there's the chip manufacturers that are like prioritizing their sales to those companies to like do the data farms that are necessary for AI. And now you're having Micron basically saying, okay, no more RAM to the public. We're going to prioritize the AI companies now. Um, it's going to be weird because if that industry implodes, then it's not going to be just a handful of like companies, like all the big names that you can think of. It'll be everything associated with them, everything close to it, where it's like it'll just take down an entire industry instead of putting an industry in like a recession or a slowdown period where they can still make money and like have diversified profits, if that makes sense, like shares
Yeah.
in a way.
No, I totally
Yeah.
agree. I think, and that's the big thing. It's like maybe part of it. Maybe it's a gamble going into kind of shifting away from consumer and going AI in a sense. I mean, AI seems to only be growing, so maybe it's not as big of a gamble, but I don't know, man. There must be a lot of money in that, Clearly, they're
Oh,
stepping away from consumer for
dude.
that. Like that's insane.
Some of the stuff I've been reading about, and we won't get into it right now because it's like it's more of like a rumor mill of where the finances are coming from and then like people speculating on new government policies. There's there's a lot of terrifying stuff going on with AI that if this stuff doesn't actually pan out, it can get really ugly. And yeah, I don't want to speculate any further than that, but there's it's risky like all industries, I think, but it's getting weird now.
Yeah,
But
man.
yeah.
Yeah, it certainly is. So it'll be something to follow. I think, especially going into the new year and how it shifts. Will other brands follow? I don't know. It's hard for me to think like a ton of brands would jump ship with consumer, but then again, I don't know what's gonna happen with AI in the next 3 years. So who knows, man?
Oh yeah. Well, who knows?
Well, there's one thing we know about Call of Duty, a well-known brand.
A well-known IP. It's in the toilet. No, you're gonna have to excuse me. I'm still like battling this congestion, so my voice might sound a little bit off. Can't really breathe out of my nose. But this article is from GameSpot. It's over the writer, sorry, is Eddie McCook.
I was gonna say
McCook. I
McCall,
don't
but
know.
I don't think that's it.
I'm not sure. Makuch. McCooch, I
McCall.
think. McCall. I feel like Cooch is wrong, but it's at the same time like
It just sounds like
yeah.
it sounds like one of those troll donos. Eddie
Yeah,
McCooch.
yeah, dude, yeah. Dude, seriously. I wish I knew how to pronounce his last name. I'm sorry, Eddie. But he's a staff writer over at GameSpot. He wrote this article, so give him a shout. Call of Duty is underperforming in 2025, an analysis says, citing burnout, creative decisions, and AI slop. Xbox dropped the ball on the wrong year, is in quotes. Alrighty, let us get into it. Starting off with the article. He begins by saying, according to one analyst, Call of Duty as a franchise is underperforming in 2025 due to various factors. Rice Elliott, is it Reese? Or
I
is it
almost said, yeah, I
Rice?
almost want to say Reese, but
Yeah. Reese Elliott of Alina Analytics, who we've actually covered several times, said in an interview that some of the factors that he believes are contributing to Call of Duty's decline include community burnout, questionable creative and business decisions by Activision or Microsoft, and strong competition. In terms of the competition, Elliott called out Battlefield 6 and Arc Raiders along with Fortnite, which recently had a popular Simpsons season and launched its positively received Chapter 7. That's what you were talking about at the beginning of the episode.
oh yeah,
Um, Elliott told Eurogamer, Xbox dropped the ball in the wrong year, as this year saw some of the most exciting shooter releases in years. Attention is scarce. That's fair. It has been a good year for shooters.
yeah,
Honestly, it's probably the year that we should have had in like 2021 or 22 when we got like Battlefield that came
yeah.
out and it was like 2042 and it was kind of a bust. Halo Infinite came out kind of a bust. Call of Duty came out kind of a bust. Warzone came out terrible. It's like it was tough, man. I did enjoy Modern Warfare 2. That was pretty nice. I enjoyed that one. But anyways, Elliott went on to say that players are becoming increasingly dissatisfied with Call of Duty's lack of innovation. Prior to Black Ops 7 release, Elliott said people would buy Black Ops 7 even if they complained about a lack of innovation because many people buy new Call of Duty games yearly as part of an autopilot purchasing. Elliott also predicted that Black Ops 7 would outsell Battlefield 6, but he made this prediction prior to the release of both games. That's fair. Um, Elliott also pointed out that Call of Duty's turn toward more Fortnite-like cosmetics and non-military character skins like Beavis and Butthead and Nicki Minaj has alienated a significant portion of the fan base who prefers a more grounded military aesthetic, aka all the millennials and maybe Gen Xers, but mostly the millennials that like grew up with Call of
Yeah.
Duty. They love the military style, man.
No.
It's like that's all we knew growing up, man. Everything was military or fantasy, but it was all built around war. Um, that has a lot to do with that settings right there, where all the Zoomers are like, let's play this Beavis and Butthead, who they don't know, by the way. Who the freak
Yeah.
knows who
Yeah.
Beavis and Butthead under the age of
I
35
didn't think
is?
about that. Yeah, it's like people, especially Gen Z, a lot just have no
They don't
idea
have a
what that is.
clue. Do you even know?
I knew who
You're
that
younger
is.
than I.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I knew who that is, but only because my dad he showed me Beavis and Butthead when I was younger.
Yeah, because your
So it's
dad's a
like-
Gen Xer and he grew up with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I know what it is, but I feel like I don't know. It's probably people that are like 5 years younger than me and younger probably have no idea.
I have
So.
no clue. No clue. Like, what's this weird cartoon that's like some weird nerd from the 80s?
Like, what is this?
Yeah. Dude, that's total.
Beavis.
Almost. Yeah. What? And then Nicki Minaj, who, yeah, okay, this is millennial. There you go. But come on, man, what are we doing here? For what's worth, Black Ops 7 does not feature the same kind of wacky and over the top skins that Black Ops 6 had, in part because Activision said it heard the concerns of Call of Duty had strayed from its identity. I guess so. I mean, some of the skins
Dude,
that they had, I kind of
I
enjoyed.
dude, I have opinions about things other than the game because like it's so funny because I remember reading that and I was like, oh great, okay, Call of Duty's going back to what it was, right? Like they're getting rid of these skins that seemingly a lot of people don't like or they think is not Call of
No
Duty.
chance.
But then when I look at the game, it looks like a 10-cent mobile game. Like it doesn't, at least from what I've seen, like it just doesn't remind me at all of Call of Duty in the worst way. So it's like I look at it, I'm just like, okay, cool. You don't have these cool skins in there, or like you don't have these like ridiculous like player skins in there, but like everything else seems like a complete misstep into trying to be like more, I guess, modern with the graphics and like the attention grabbing and all that. It just and some of the skins I've seen, don't get me wrong, it's like they look sick, but it's like some skins I would assume like would be in like Valorant or something like that, and that's not like a diss on Valorant. It's just like it's just these crazy animations with reload and inspect and like use, which they look sick, but I'm just like, this is not like, this is pretty far from Call of Duty, and it's getting into those realm of these mobile games that just like have these bright flashy colors and things. I don't know.
Yeah, they're just going for a paycheck, man, at the end of the day.
I mean, so it's like, it's just, I think in hindsight reading that, it's like, oh, that was awesome, but like everything else just swung way too far into the other direction of like, you know, it's just, it doesn't remind me of Call of Duty at all.
Actually, some of the Black Ops 6 game. First of all, I'm an old head. I never viewed Black Ops games as like Call of Duty games. Like they were Call of Duty games, if that makes sense.
Interesting. Okay.
But to me, it was like Call of Duty to me was Modern Warzone, Modern Warfare. It was Call of Duty 3, 4,
Yeah.
stuff like that. That was like, I think that was Treyarch, right? That did most of that.
Yeah, well, Treyarch did the Black Ops, and then
Okay, then Treyarch is the
and
one that I never really
Infinity
like.
Ward did,
Infinity Ward
Modern
is the one
yeah,
that I've always viewed as more being like Call of Duty
Modern
because it was
Warfare.
always more militaristic, and then Black
I
Ops to me
I,
was
I
a
can
sci-fi shooter.
I could agree with that. I think Black Ops is definitely more arcadey in my eyes. Like I definitely
Yeah,
agree with that. It appealed more to that kind of arcadey sense, where like yeah, the Modern Warfares were very much like, oh, this is very much military. It's like you get
yeah,
to Black Ops, it's kind of like older times. So like I don't know, it wasn't as like obviously it wasn't modern in most cases. But you get to like Black Ops 2 and obviously that's modern. But like
yep,
yeah, but no, I can definitely agree with that. I think it's just, it's tried to cater to that more kind of arcade shooter vibe for sure.
yeah. But that's basically how I've always viewed the games like that. But I mean, it. I always viewed the games. Maybe it's because I grew up playing Halo, because each Halo game, it feels like the only thing that they have in common is the fact that it says Halo in the title,
Yeah.
whereas every single game is like fundamentally different than
Yeah.
the other one. It's not as streamlined as Call of Duty is. Um, I don't know. Maybe I have more lenience because of that, or different view. But anyways, so Warzone, however, is still has all of those kinds of skins, basically
Yeah, the
talking
battle
about like over
royale.
the
Yeah.
top skins. Yeah. For Black Ops 7 specifically, Elliot said the game's co op campaign was a major point of criticism, while the game's use of AI slop was a sore spot for some. Ooh.
That's not great.
All right, this is a quote from Elliot, by the way. Player reception was also largely negative, with a mostly negative Steam user score and review bombing galore. Long-standing player frustrations, like the perceived impact of skill-based matchmaking and the focus on heavy microtransactions, skins, and bundles over core gameplay quality, continue to drive players away from the franchise. Good. Good. Bro, at least he knows what's wrong, but good. I'm so excited to hear that's like actually working because the games won't get better until people leave. And sometimes
Yeah.
you just gotta leave, bro.
Yeah, and
That,
it's funny. And I don't know how true this is. I've only seen tweets, but like saw there was like a clip from a podcast from like a lot of well-known like COD competitors and like pro players. They were talking about when they played the game, especially more recently. They're starting to develop a theory that I think Treyarch, whoever made this COD, I think it was Treyarch, where they seemingly rug pulled that like skill based that they were taking out skill based matchmaking and they're like speculating they added it back in because they were like, dude, my lobbies have
100%
been
they.
crazy. Like he's like, I'm just getting sweats again and it's bad and like that's what I had seen. I mean, I don't know if there's much validity to it because I didn't look too far into it. I just saw that clip and so I was like, that would be something if they just like all of a sudden
Dude,
added it
they're
back in.
the whole reason why skill-based matchmaking exists, it's not necessarily to get people into the sweatiest lobbies possible. That people are thinking that
Is to
that's
put
how
you
it
at
needs to be.
500, right?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
because the idea is, it
Keeps you coming back.
consider it this way: once you view gaming and the way AAA studios that are on the stock market in particular and that have investors and they're beholden to them, view it like it's Las Vegas casinos, or if you're in Asia, Macau. All it's about is that you need people to sit down in the chair and hit the button. That's all that
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah.
Just keep the slots running. Keep them clicking. Keep them staying there. How do you do that? You give them breadcrumbs every now and then. You let them win big. Let them be the MVP. And then you start giving the losses. Make them struggle. And then they're
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't want to play this anymore. Then get on again. And then give them a couple more wins. And the idea is they'll stay on the game longer because it's psychologically proven that they will. If you want to
Yeah.
manipulate skill based matchmaking, what you should do is load into the game, win, win as much as you can. The moment you lose, get off the game for like a day. Come
Yeah.
back. And you're going to start seeing that they want you, they'll take habits like a profile of you and how often you're on the game for however long you're on the game. And as long as you're winning, if you do that strategy and then you leave when you lose, you'll continue to rank up. You'll get in easier lobbies.
Right.
I do it with Rocket League, man. I'll just be grinding and I'll be playing, and then I get completely shafted because I go on a crazy good win streak, and then they give me like two absolute morons that have no reason to be in that lobby. Maybe they're like having a really rough day and they're just not on it. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
And you're just not there and you're just getting smoked. They give me those two guys, and then they give me a stack of three that have been playing together for like 10 years and have a win percentage of 70 while playing together. I'm cooked.
Yeah.
I'm done. So you leave. And then the next game you get on, the next day, it's going to be a breeze. Because they keep track. It's like a player card. They keep track of what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, it makes
That
sense. Makes sense.
It's all about to get money from you. Because the longer you can play in the game, the more money they can get from
Yeah,
you.
more likely
And
you
even
are
if they
to.
don't get money from you, they'll look at the player account number, go to investors, and say, "Oh, we have the amount of money that we need because this is our player pool. We can create another one of these games. We'll sell the game again." That's the idea.
Yeah. It's true, man. It's true. It makes sense.
Yeah, it's frustrating. All right, let's continue going on. Enough of that rant. Additionally, Elliott said Black Ops 7 launching into Game Pass cannibalized traditional full-price game sales for Xbox and PC. He pointed to the reporting that said Black Ops 6 missed out on 300 million in potential sales due to the game being on Game Pass. Our estimates have signaled time and time again that Game Pass cannibalizes game revenues, and Call of Duty is no different. I mean, yes and no. Portions of the Game Pass, depending on your player pool, as long as the people are playing, using Game Pass and playing your game, you will get revenue from it. But if he's making it out to say like we lost out on 300 million in potential sales, you should be getting that back so long as the people with Game Pass are playing your game for longer than like 6 months. You can, if you're not letting people play your game or they're not enjoying your game, then maybe you don't deserve the 300 mil. Maybe.
Mic drop. Got
I'm just saying.
him.
Because that's how you would get the 300 mil back. Unless they're thinking, oh, we would have this amount, but imagine how much more we would have
Yeah.
if we were on Game Pass and they had to pay for the game. Yeah, it's like, dude, shut it.
Insane, man. Insane.
All right. Beyond all this, Elliott said the marketing of Black Ops 7 was pretty abysmal and underwhelming, while the game's formal reveal event of Call of Duty Next was messy and did little to excite the community. This is again in stark contrast to the community driven, focused marketing of Battlefield and Ark, whose development and marketing has been incredibly community driven. Battlefield is one of the biggest community driven like IPs ever. If
Yeah,
they
it's
don't have a
insane.
community, nobody plays it.
I mean, it
You
goes for any
need
game. But like
brother,
for
but you need
them,
100 people active
but like
playing.
I mean, but the big thing for them is when they like brought people in, took feedback, and were like, all right, we
Oh
need to
yeah.
make the next Battlefield game good. That was
Well,
that
think
was
about
crazy.
and all the hype that they had around it. They were bringing in streamers, they were bringing in content creators, they were putting them in giant arenas, letting them play and
Yeah.
stream at the event. They were giving them all access, sending private packages. Like everybody got these cool Battlefield 6 packages, like care packages. So cool, man. I don't see Call of Duty really doing that, or if I don't remember them doing that at least.
Crazy.
If they did. All right, last paragraph though. Battlefield 6 has sold more than 10 million copies reportedly, but there is no sales data available yet for Black Ops 7. Any comparison would be incomplete and unfair, and Black Ops 7 is on Game Pass and is available on more platforms than Battlefield 6. No shooter has outsold Call of Duty in terms of a full year in the US since 2006, though Battlefield 6 has also eclipsed the first month sales of Black Ops 6 and Modern Warfare 3. What happened in 2006? What do you think?
Since 2006. Since Halo 3 dropped. That's what I think of.
Ooh, yeah. This one makes perfect sense. You ready for it?
Ready?
The OG Star Wars Battlefront 2 that released in 2005.
The GOAT. The
Honestly,
GOAT.
that might be one of the best shooters I've ever played now that I think about it. I had everything unlocked. I still do.
The GOAT.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind playing that for sure. Get the boys
Fire up
on
the
the
server,
excellent
dude.
grind. Yeah.
Yeah,
Smot it
that's pretty
up.
crazy. Yeah, dude. I mean, talked about it before, but like competition, right? Bringing
Oh, yeah.
Battlefield 6, Arc Raiders, like you have great competition against COD. People start to realize the complacency that Call of Duty has been in for a while. It's like, yeah, there's a few things that they tried to do that developer tried to do in order to get people to come back and try to please the community more, which I think may have helped some. I won't say it didn't help at all, but I mean, you just look at the product and it's like so far removed from what Call of Duty was. And it's like the IP's at a point now where it's like, well, if they go back to what they were before, it's like, is there? It'd be hard to innovate that into something that would be interesting for the fan base, in my opinion. Maybe
I
that's
think
a
that's fair.
maybe that's a strong take, but it's just one of those things. Like, I don't know. I don't want to sit here and say that IP should die, but I think to a certain extent, it's like you look at this. I mean, I look back to like Halo, and it's like, I mean, it's great that they're doing the campaign of old or whatever, but it's at the same time, it's like it's old content that they're just rehashing, and so it's like at a certain point, like maybe you should just like think of a new IP and just like move on to something else because I think
Sometimes
you
you
get
just
a
let it go.
you get to a point where it overstays its welcome, and we've seen that with many
Yeah.
IPs. And Call of Duty's getting to that point. It's probably arguably has been at that point for a while. But I mean, we say the same thing about like Battlefield and how that overstays welcome. But here's Battlefield 6, and it's like, okay, people are coming back and playing. So I don't know. It's a difficult thing to do as developers, to especially for a long-standing IP. Is how do you make it innovative but not go too far? And thankfully, I
Yeah,
don't have that job to figure that out.
but that's a fact. Same here. It is kind of interesting though. It's like, what do you do with the whole situation, honestly? Because it, how many chances do you get? How many times can you completely ruin and drop the ball? The problem is like if an IP is so big, as big as Call of Duty is, they probably get like 10 tries at making a game and flop every time in terms of quality. But the fact that it's Call of Duty is probably always going to sell, you know?
I mean, yeah, it's true. It's
And
a
that's
powerful
part of
name,
it.
right? So
Yeah. Branding is a
yeah,
lot of things. Um, and it's pretty powerful if used in such a way, you know?
yeah, dude. I just think back to the nostalgia every time these new CODs come out. Like I always think about the double XP codes on Mountain Dew Doritos. How goated that was. Just how like sick that was
It was the
as we
best.
were younger. And it's like you get those codes for double XP. There's something about that was so sick. You like go out, get those codes, use them in game, get double XP. Like I have a lot of nostalgia for Call of Duty, so it pains me to sit here and say like, oh, maybe they should like take a step back. But it's just like, oh man, it's certainly
Yeah,
not what it used to be. And like again, like maybe that's just me getting old. It's like maybe I'm just not. Maybe there's a whole generation under me that like you're experiencing Call of Duty for the first time, you're really liking it, and this is just me projecting, wanting to feel that feeling again.
maybe there might be some to that. I mean, I can definitely relate when it comes to the Halo franchise. I think it more has to do with how like the games keep launching buggy and broken,
Yeah,
and a lot of the older games they couldn't afford to launch buggy and broken. Like there was less money in the game for like pressure to get the games out and reach deadlines. It was more about reputation and a little bit
yeah,
more passion and getting your work done correctly.
yeah,
I think that kind of does more work for you in the long run.
yeah. Man, I
That's
think we.
kind of died. There's no
Yeah,
patience anymore.
I mean, that's what I think. I mean, I think to your point, it's like when you think about developers, complacency, and like when IP and studios get comfortable, like it shows in the product that they release, and it's just not
Yes, it
fully
does. Yeah.
baked. And like, yeah, and to your point, back then, it's like it's like if you don't make this and it flops, we're done. Like we can't cover from
Yeah.
it. But nowadays, people have way more leash than they should. So when you release a game that's buggy and broken, it's like, oh, we'll fix it. And you keep a little
Will
bit
you though?
of the fan base, but like if you just keep doing that over and over again, like it's gonna catch up to you, and it's not gonna end well for the studio, right? So
Absolutely
I
not,
hate
dude.
picking on 343 and Halo Studios, but it's like it's they're kind of a product of that for the past decade, right? So
Yeah,
uh,
literally 15 years, I think.
man, probably since
When
Reach,
did I think no,
like 4 maybe. I
since
don't
Halo 4,
know.
Reach was kind of silly because it wasn't for competitive gamers,
Yeah.
which was sad. But once they figured out no sprint, no bloom, it became competitive again, and that was kind of
Mm.
cool. But the vast majority, like it was a really really fun game, and it was very innovative. It was very unique. Um, Honestly, it was so much fun now that I think about it. But when Halo 4 came out, that was when I realized I was like, okay, this the franchise is gone.
Oh,
Like I played through the whole story. I really really liked the story. I had fun playing the um like the multiplayer, and I played it competitively. But to me, that point in my life when I was playing, I was just like, yeah, this game's not like for me anymore. Like the franchise is just not for me. It's different than what it used to be. And from that moment on, I always viewed like I said, like every Halo is a different version of a shooter. Like Halo 1, 2, and 3 and Reach, ODST as well. They were all very, very unique and all very innovative. Every single one of them brought something new. Halo 4 tried to do that, but in the wrong way.
Yeah,
And it was just like, why are we pivoting? Like, I think I had a rant about this. How are you going to take what Halo was, something unique, sandbox style, with shields, shooter, and try to make it more like Call of Duty because Call of Duty is outselling Halo games?
yeah.
Like, if I was gonna do that, if I wanted to play Call of Duty, I'd play Call of Duty. That's
It's a good
that's
point.
what I'm saying. Like, don't try to emulate. How many
Yeah.
games have we seen in the last 5 years that have completely imploded because they try to copy a different successful game? Like, what are you
It's
doing?
yeah, I mean, no, it's totally true. I think those questions, or at least I like to think those questions, keep a lot of game designers and creative directors up at night, especially with a long-standing franchise. It's like, okay, how do we make this different enough where it's fresh and new for the player, but not too far gone and too far from what worked? Like, I feel like that those questions probably keep all sorts of developers up. And I think we see so many times where they swing that pendulum way too far and they don't realize it
Yeah,
until it's too late. So the game's already out and you're like, and you step back and it's like, whoa, okay, people don't like this. What did we miss? And then in some cases, they follow up with something that's more of what the consumer likes and what the player base wants. But then more often than not, they swing even further, or they try to swing another way and they go too far into another direction. It's like
no,
it's a hard thing to figure out, and I think there's a lot more developers and stuff for long-standing franchises that struggle with that more than anything, or more they struggle with that more than actually succeeding. So I don't know. We see that was my piece. So
you know what it should be like. One of the things that Halo did right early on, and honestly, why I give Halo 4 a huge pass, but Halo 5 I hated. And it's not the multiplayer with Halo 5 that made me hate it so much. It was the fact that like I was so highly invested into the story and the lore
yeah,
of the universe that I was playing the game in, that when Halo 5 completely abandoned everything and made stuff up, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'll try to like get the context from the books. Okay, I'll buy into it just like because I'm so invested in the storyline and the universe that when Halo Infinite came out, I was still invested, and they basically were like, okay, everything that happened previously, everything you know, we're just gonna wipe it clean. It's like, dude, how are you doing that? And it was around the same time like Disney bought Star Wars and did the same exact thing with that entire like
yeah,
ecosystem. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And it's
yeah,
like, okay, so you're gonna disregard everything that I loved about this like fantastical like world and even stuff that I hated, but I was like, okay, I'm bought into it because that's just part of the story. You can't love everything about it. But you're gonna wipe it clean? I that irritated me the most.
yeah,
But my point is like if you can do any type of innovation you possibly want. But if you can hook people on the story and a message of a game and then show the art of it, you can really keep people around for a long time. Like think about it this way. Doom, early Doom was 2D. It was on the Microsoft Windows in like the freaking 90s. It was
yeah,
it was by far the most played software on Windows. More people had Doom than they had freaking Windows.
yeah,
That's how big of a deal it was for the computer. And they evolved that into like Doom Eternal, which is one of the most insane games ever. And then what's the most recent one? Doom it's literally on Game Pass now. But the point is like people still play that game and every single one of the games is vastly different, but there's a reason they play it. And it has to do with the story, it has to do with like the vibes, and I think a lot of games and developers lost that appeal to the video game
yeah.
that they're making. I don't think it's as much of like because this is Call of Duty, it needs to have the same exact thing every single time. Is one of the reasons why I said earlier is like COD. I never viewed Black Ops as the same as like Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Like they were just different with the same umbrella title.
I mean, which, yeah, I mean, and to be fair, like with Call of Duty, it's like you look at Black Ops versus Modern Warfare. It was two different studios, right? So it's two different
Yeah,
visions. They had to like make, if one studio was just to copy the other one, there wouldn't be much success there. So I
Yeah.
think, and there's people who debate all the time, and people that played Call of Duty growing up. It's like, okay, which did you like more? Was Black Ops better or was Modern Warfare? And so and everyone has a preference, right? So
Yeah. I think that's so like I think that's so cool that you can argue about what your preference is,
yeah,
but
yeah,
you're still gonna
that's
go back and play it, and it's not gonna like fracture the franchise.
yeah,
But if you release a game that's completely broken and isn't in the universe anymore, and it's
mm,
no longer something that you're used to,
yeah,
then why would you play it?
yeah.
Like, could you
It's yeah,
imagine Battlefield making an arcadey version like Black Ops 7? Do you understand the level of outrage that would happen because of that?
yeah. It wouldn't make sense. If you'd be playing these
Yeah,
small massive Battlefield movement, it just wouldn't flow.
yeah.
So people are
Like,
like, what is this?
what are we?
Like,
What are
yeah,
you doing? Like,
yeah. And
like
it's the thing,
Titanfall fits in the Call of Duty,
yeah,
but imagine Battlefield being or Titanfall being in the Battlefield universe. It just
yeah.
wouldn't work.
It'd be crazy. Yeah, my final point on this before we move on, I think
Yeah,
you look at you look at all the stuff. I think when you look at studios and new creative directors come in or new like devs come in, I think it's important and something like if any studio is looking to hire and try and further develop a existing IP, it's like bring someone in that knows not only like a lot about the world but also understands the commentary around the community and understands what people are looking for because when you hire someone who knows kind of at I think a deep level of what the story is, what the community thinks of the story, you have a way better chance at creating something good to follow up in the series.
yeah,
So, um, so you hope that with these studios, they don't just hire based on like a title or something from another studio. They do the research and they bring someone in who knows everything in and out and can understand a vision. So that's what you hope studios do. But it's and then it gets hard because some of these devs that were so good, they probably got burned out and left the industry. So it's like it's probably hard to bring them back.
exactly.
But
Exactly. That's gonna be part of it too. Oh
so
man.
you just hope you find a predecessor or yeah someone who knows. But it's crazy, man. There's a lot that goes into this. I think, and it's interesting to think about like where studios go wrong and how easy it can be to point out or how maybe more nuanced it could be. So
Yeah.
interesting stuff.
Yeah.
We could talk about a studio. We just talked about their
Yeah.
game,
Let's.
their old game. We just talked about that.
Oh, we just did talk about their old game. Let's talk about their new game that got a whole bunch
Yeah.
of heat, and Paul Tass is going to give us the
Yeah.
truth.
This is a bit of an update. We covered the original story of this months ago, before marathon beta and whatnot, and all the marathon kind of showcase and stuff came out. It was like obviously after that, and obviously the delay of the actual game coming out and everything. We had covered that an artist had pointed out that their work had been plagiarized by Bungie staff members and artists. Let's get into it. Paul Tassi writes this at Forbes. Covered many times. He says Bungie's marathon plagiarism scandal comes to a, quote, satisfactory end. After a questionable gameplay premiere and a bad alpha, the last thing Bungie's marathon needed was more bad news. Back in May of this year, an artist, Anti-Real, accused Bungie of lifting her designs one for one for various decals in the game scattered around the map. The comparisons were as plain as day, and Bungie quickly leapt into action with a lengthy explanation as to what happened. Quote, we immediately investigated a concern regarding unauthorized use of artist decals in Marathon and confirmed that a former Bungie artist included these in a texture sheet that was ultimately used in game. This issue was unknown by our existing art team, and we are still reviewing how this oversight occurred. We take matters like this very seriously. We have reached out to Anti-Real. We've reached out to Anti-Real to discuss this issue and are committed to do right by the artist. As a matter of policy, we do not use the work of artists without their permission. And it kind of goes into the post that was originally made of like, oh yeah, this is some art that I
Yeah.
made. Here it is in game, kind of showing and it's those decals are there, man. They're
They are straight up copy
it
pasta,
is,
dude.
yeah, it is literally ripped directly. Yeah, that's jeez. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Now, doing right by the artist appears to have happened. Anti-Real posted the following on social media on December 2nd, this week. Marathon art issue has been resolved with Bungie and Sony Interactive Entertainment to my satisfaction. They posted. The terms of the deal are unknown, but of course, the theory is that she was awarded some sort of, hopefully large, financial compensation as a result of all this. damage it has done to Bungie's reputation remains, and compounding this fact is that this happened multiple times in the past with game or promotional art, sometimes by contractors, but the point is, it keeps happening. As a result of Marathon plagiarism, Bungie promised to conduct a review of their processes so this doesn't happen again. Though as recently as last week, Bungie stumbled into another art-based controversy when artists accused them of using Gen AI on concept art for Renegade's Dedrin Bale. I hope I said that right. They haven't commented on that one way or the other. Marathon promotion is starting to ramp up with Destiny 2 within Destiny 2 itself, with a current weapon ornament based on the game, and reports that future ornaments will be runners from Marathon themselves. The game has gone through tons more internal testing, and reports are that it is steadily improving. Since all this went down, Arc Raiders, another extraction game, has blown up into one of the biggest successes of the year. There's some debate about whether that can help or hurt Marathon in the end. Marathon is slated to launch sometime in Q1 of 2026. It being a hit or a flop will heavily influence Bungie's entire future with Sony, and by proxy, games like Destiny 2. No more scandals, please. You would hope they don't continue more scandals. But I think to Paul's point, it's been very interesting to see Arc Raiders and the success it's had and all of the praise it's received among streamers. I've seen a lot of streamers. Dude, do you remember TSM Hamlins? You remember that guy? Remember that
Hamlins?
dude? Hamlins. Yeah, you
No,
remember
I
him?
actually don't. Is he
Dude,
back?
he's one of he was on the original like TSM Fortnite team. He fired up a
Oh,
stream like week and a half ago for the first time and God knows how long. And everyone was like, "What are you doing? Want to guess what game he was playing? Arc Raiders." And he was talking with Myth because Myth is like a huge Arc Raiders streamer now.
Oh yeah.
And obviously they had like they hopped on a call almost like right away because he was like, "Dude, he's like, I saw you were online." They were like had a huge bonding moment. It was amazing. And he goes, and Hamlin's like, "Yeah, man, like I've just caught myself playing because like Myth was like, I've seen you on this game like in private. I haven't said anything, but like I've seen you on it. And you have almost as many hours as I do, and they both probably have hundreds of hours at this point, or like crazy amount of hours." And he's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "I've been playing this game a lot, and I just thought like I should like fire up my stream and make some content about it because like I haven't had this much fun playing a game since like early Fortnite days." And it's like hearing that, it's like, dude, that's crazy. Like it's just insane that so many people are having this much fun. I mean, like Ninja still grinds it daily. Like there's so many of these streamers, man. They've latched onto this game and they're finding, out hundreds of hours of content. And like I even have like some good friends that have like they somehow have like 5-6 times the hours I do, or maybe like 4 times the hours I do, and I'm just like I feel like I've played this game a lot. It's crazy, man. Like there's some people that are truly just like loving the game, addicted to it. It's cool to see. And so like going back to like Marathon, it's like you see a game like Arc Raiders succeeding, I'd be terrified about Bungie because it's like, okay, well, how are we gonna pull any of that player base, if any, to play our extraction shooter if it's not nearly as good? So I don't know, man. I think what helps Arc Raiders 2 in a bark is like they made a complete game. It's not early access, none of that. Like it's a finished product. And
I think that matters a lot. I have not played it myself, but it looks like it's super optimized. The good news about Bungie games, Destiny is a very, very optimized game. It's one of the few games where I've actually like played 1440p, 144 frames per second with my 3 monitors on a 2070 Super, and
Yeah.
it was like almost ultra graphics, and it was so smooth. It was really nice to play, very, very fun, and it's a gorgeous looking game. So that gives me hope that Bungie can kind of figure out these whole art style. Hopefully, it's like the modeling is really good, the 3D rendering, and the art style is good. But the fact that they're using AI and pulling stuff from like plagiarism, plagiarizing other people's work, that's frustrating. I don't like that. But there is that idea. Maybe they can fix it and it can come out and still be good. It's such a shame
Yeah.
because I think they would have launched before Arc Raiders, so now they might be in trouble.
Yeah, it
Um,
doesn't help you.
no, it doesn't. I think people have started to calm down with the scenario of like this plagiarism stuff and AI artwork. It was very, very heated in the news for a while, like a couple of months. Not a lot of people are talking about it anymore, though. Um, yeah, it's going to be just interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. It's just like the whole Arc Raiders arc, if you will, has really added to my curiosity now about Marathon, how this will succeed. It'll be curious. I mean, And by the time it comes out, we're talking Q1 2026. I'll be curious to see how many people are still playing Arc Raiders at that time. If
That's
there's
a good
any
point.
sort of longevity, it seems like there might be. And, it's trending in the direction where I think it probably will have an audience for a while. But into Q1 2026, we'll see. It is still it is right around the corner, but also like we're talking over the course of the next few months, right? So
Right. Yeah.
we'll see, man. We'll see. But I mean, yeah, Marathon. There's just been so many things going on in this game that just have not helped them. So I'll be. I'm. It makes me increasingly curious about how the launch is going to be.
Hopefully it's gonna be good. Hopefully,
But
please.
I mean, to your point too, like Destiny 2. I remember when I first played Destiny 2 on my PC. It was like a newer PC. I was like
Yeah.
genuinely impressed with how well it ran and how good it looked. So I'm right there with you, man. It was something. It was one of the few games I point to where it's like, okay, that is an optimized game. Like I opened that and I was like, that was good. And like when I open games now, like newer games especially, I'm like, all right, we talking like D2 levels of optimization here? What are we gonna get? So yeah, it'll be interesting.
You just gotta be optimistic about it. I think we'll just at least they have more time to figure it out, make it more optimized, and then hopefully just not have AI or theft in their artwork. Like
Literal
that
theft.
can't be hard, right?
Literal theft. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. But quick little updates. Good enough. The artist got compensated. Love to hear that.
Oh
Or at
yeah,
least that's how it seems.
about
So
time.
yeah. So we'll see. We'll see as Q1 of 2026 approaches. Something that's approaching right now.
Oh yeah. All right, so we got another acquisition here. We briefly talked about it. We didn't have the full details. Things have developed further. Chris Carr. I'm assuming the last name's Carr because I worked for a drugstore called Carr Drug, and that's how they spell the last name. But Chris over here at Game Developer is a senior editor, news for GameDeveloper.com. He wrote an article called Saudi Arabia will now own 93.4% of EA after the buyout. Jeez. So fellow consortium Silver Lake and Affinity Partners will own 5.5% and 1.1% respectively. Yikes. The sports washing continues. So Saudi Arabia's Sovereign Public Investment Fund (PIF) is poised to become the majority owner of EA as part of the $55 billion take private that will see an investor consortium take control of the Battlefield and Apex Legends publisher. The deal was announced earlier this year and will result in EA being acquired by a group that includes PIF, Silver Lake, and Affinity Partners, the latter of which is the investment firm established by U.S. President Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Um, the ownership group will collectively contribute 36 billion to the buyout. JP Morgan Chase Bank will provide an additional 20 billion in debt financing. Until now, it has been unclear how ownership will be divided between members of the consortium, as spotted by the Wall Street Journal. However, a new filing submitted to regulators in Brazil indicates PIF will own 93.4% of EA post buyout. Silver Lake and Affinity Partners will own 5.5 and 1.1 respectively. EA has discussed the potential impact of the deal at length in a series of SEC filings and claims the move won't result in immediate layoffs. Not immediate, but they're coming. The company also told employees it will retain creative control under its new owners. Maybe everything's about to become very green because that's Saudi Arabian national colors. PIF made significant inroads into the video game industry before turning its attention to EA, having previously acquired stakes in high profile companies such as Nintendo, Koei Tecmo, Capcom, Nexon, and Take Two. Don't forget that they've also bought Newcastle United. The investment fund is chaired by Saudi Arabian de facto ruler and crown prince Mohammed bin Salman, who, as noted by the BBC, was linked to the murder of the Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Yikes. Advocacy groups such as Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch have strongly criticized Saudi Arabian human rights record under the leadership of bin Salman, who they claim has suppressed freedom of speech by outlaying protests and demonstrations, criminalizing LGBTQ relationships and gender expression, and discriminating against women. Communications Workers of America President Claude Cummings Jr. and unionized workers at EA have called on regulators to scrutinize the buyout to address labor and national security concerns. Earlier this year, game developer columnist Nicole Carpenter spoke with a number of analysts to better understand how the seismic deal will impact EA and wider industries. So, without getting political, how are we feeling about this, Kyle?
Yeah, I
What's your
think
take? Good, bad, indifferent? Please don't ruin my games.
it's I think I mean, yeah, I think that's part of it. I don't know, I think of Saudi Arabia, like, personally, and I'm just like, okay, there's a lot of money, but also, I mean, it's it's almost hard for me to think about Saudi Arabia without thinking about those political aspects that the article kind of lays out, because, like, obviously
Oh
you
yeah.
hear it all the time, and especially over the years we've heard it. So it's like, yeah, I'm very sort of like, I don't know, I'm like kind of like iffy about it. It's not something I'm like, oh yay, I'm glad this happened. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
I
like
don't
giddy
think you
about
would
it
be.
per se, but I yeah, I'll be curious to see what happens with EA. I mean, like, I don't know, it's kind of like this to me is almost like an act of desperation, to just be like, oh, we need money, so here's the. I mean, obviously, Saudi Arabia's pumping money into everything. Yeah, I saw. I mean, you were talking about, like, was it like a soccer club that got bought by them? I saw there was I saw there
Yeah.
apparently, like, there's like some like women's basketball league that's trying to start over there, and like there's a
Yep.
bunch of like women's basketball players that are like going to
They're
play in that
trying to do
league
the
because
and then the esports world tournaments are trying to host in Saudi
yeah,
Arabia. They're doing whatever they can to like get rid of their I don't know,
negative
like
reputation.
hyper yeah, well, hyper religious and um conservative like Eastern culture, I think. They're
uh,
trying to like say, "Oh, we're more modern but still have all of these things in their country to appeal to like Western societies."
yeah.
It's like what are we doing, man? Um it just kind of goes to show you people will sell their morals for the highest bidder, I guess. There's
Yeah.
some horrific things that were going on in Saudi Arabia not too long ago, and they're just nobody's really talking about it anymore. It's weird.
It's kind of like just desensitization, just becoming the norm, I guess. It just yeah,
I, I
it's not
I
great.
think it's just money at this point. Like the people that are making the decisions rather be paid than actually deal with it. And it's like you have the president's son-in-law is going to be a part owner of this, going like hand in hand with Saudi Arabia. I
It's not a
get
good
it.
look, right? So,
No, of course it's not a good look, but I mean, I guess you need to have allies in the region if you're the West. And I guess Saudi Arabia is an ally, or at least pretending to be.
yeah.
Who knows, man? I just
Yeah,
hear so don't get
seriously.
fined.
Who knows? I'd see. Yeah, it's. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not like super. Again, I'm not super excited about this. I'm not super like, oh yeah, is it great? Um, I'll be curious to see what happens with EA and what kind of effects this does have. But I don't know. I'm not super like optimistic that it's gonna make them a great company or even better or bring them back or anything like that. So I don't know.
Oh, dude,
I
I
guess we'll
don't
see.
think so at all. I mean, no, yeah, I don't like it one bit, really.
No,
But it is what it is.
either.
I only like to play games that I think are fun and enjoyable. So hopefully they just keep making fun and enjoyable games. But if they don't, then I won't be playing their games. That's just kind of how it's going to be.
That's the thing for me. It's like I think about like what EA games have I played recently? I mean, I can only think of like Split Fiction, but that's like a published game by EA. It's like developed by
Yeah, that's
Hazelight,
not
so
really an
it's
EA
like it's not
game.
like an
Yeah.
EA developed game, you know. So I
I
mean,
mean,
like I don't
EA
know.
is one of the most hated companies in
Yeah.
all the United States.
Like I don't play the sports games anymore. I don't. I don't know. It's just yeah, it's hard. Like it wouldn't. It personally wouldn't affect me much if EA just like imploded. Like I don't know. It's not to be too negative about it, but it's just like I'm not playing too many other games anymore. So I don't know. I guess
Yeah.
I'm kind of indifferent about it, but I think for EA, I'm be curious to see what happens with its acquisition, especially in the long term. But yeah, again, I'm with you. It's kind of just like not really the best book. I don't think
No,
so.
no, I don't think so. But
Not great.
we'll just have to see how this ends up developing. I guess it officially has not gone all the way through, but I mean, they're definitely pretty poised for this to happen. I don't see anything that's really going to turn this over. Not that I know of. I'm also a little bit annoyed how like J.P. Morgan Chase Bank is just getting involved to finance $20 billion of basically the consumer. money into this as well. So it's like, okay, cool. Now everybody's bought in.
Debt financing. Pretty.
Yeah, always got it, buddy. Always gotta. But anyways, I think that's it for our articles this week. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Well, and we kept it just to what 5 minutes over the hour mark that we try to get to. Well, I guess let's let the people go. Do you have anything to add? And then we'll just kind of do some closing statements and then let it go.
Yeah, I don't think so. We'll see about next week. Next week's an interesting week. So,
Is it?
I know we got like Game Awards and whatnot.
Oh yeah, the Game Awards are on
So
the 8th still,
I think it's
or are
on
they doing it on?
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if
But
I'll be available to record Friday, so we'll have to see. I don't know.
I'll run solo again. I don't care, bro. No.
Hey man, listen,
We'll
dude.
make it work. We'll figure something out.
Listen, man. You can do that if you want, but I know you working like a
You
dog.
can do that
So
if you want.
working like a dog. I don't want to stress you out with no Game Awards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
I
We'll
have it
see.
working, but let's get some R&R. Let's let the people go. We do appreciate you guys for tuning in. We hope you had a wonderful holiday if you're in North America. Well, United States, because Mexico and Canada. Well, Canada celebrates Thanksgiving, but I think they do that in October.
I was gonna say they have
But anyways,
Canadian
yeah,
Thanksgiving.
they have Thanksgiving. I don't think Mexico does. They have better holidays, like way better holidays. I think they have like a national tequila day.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'll drink to that, brother. But anyways, we'll let you guys go. We'll let you guys go. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you need to see any of the links or the articles we've covered in this show, we have links in the description below. There's also timestamps. You can come back. I know we ran into it a couple of times here and there, but you can always come back, check it out, see how you like it. And without further ado, we'll let you go. This has been the M2 Podcast. I'm Michael Anthony. That's Kyle Heath. We will catch you in the next one, or at least me in the next one. We'll talk to Kyle later, figure out what's going on there. But we'll see you later. Have a good one. We appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.